I have some topics to discuss today, but mainly this is a session for you. So please and throw in some thoughts and ideas and questions, and especially as we get into any topics that are interesting or that you think we could talk about. Last week we had a really cool. Was I traveling, Mark? What was it? I had to jump off, so I actually turned it over to Mark because we had a video that
Yeah,
was awesome that we played. Um,
Matt Powers. Yes.
yeah, with Matt Powers,
Yeah.
and he was being interviewed by the new owner of Acres USA,
Mhm.
and one of our audience just put in the chat that there are, I guess, a lot of maybe all of the sessions that were done at Acres USA, which was being held last week. They're up on a link. I think she put a link in for it, but on the Acres site. Um, One of the things that happened that was interesting last week, um, I had a talk with um, two people, and then in our webinar with um, my brain's going dead. The fellow from Croatia. Why am I not thinking of his name, Mark?
William.
William Horvath. Yeah, I just couldn't get it right there. He had said the same thing, and which is that regenerative living. Oh, it wasn't William as much as a guy named Carlos Terran, who we actually, I believe, have also interviewed at some time. He's in Colorado, and he is um, an accountant that does only works for nonprofits, and he only works for very earth friendly accounting companies. So a lot of nonprofits that are in the green and earth friendly living space. And he's also a small scale rancher himself. And he believes that not only are we not growing in the way and in the number of um, regenerative living people are on the planet and are a percentage of our overall population, not only is that number not growing, it is rapidly declining. And that Acres USA conference is probably a good example because I don't think it had half as many people as were at, let's say, the 2019 conference pre-pandemic, or 2017 and 18, all 3 years of which I was there, and one of those years I was a speaker there. That again, numbers have gone backwards because there's not as much interest. It's just not as many people that are involved. Um, so we're gonna do a little something here in a little bit, maybe with a couple different AIs to see if that statement I just made, what kind of accuracy it has. So, question for all of you: when you need to search for something today, if you're using a browser like DuckDuckGo, which is what I use, or Chrome, or Apple, if you're on an Apple device, or whatever, uh, what ones are still out there, Mark? You remember the one way back we used to have? Edge, obviously, or
Right.
Microsoft,
Microsoft's, yes.
Microsoft's. Um,
Yeah,
if
most
you,
common one is Chrome by Google.
yeah, Chrome is probably the most common, although maybe not. Maybe Apple's is big, so people that
Yeah.
have Apple, and maybe Apple's got as many. I don't
And
know the
then
number.
Firefox, another one.
Yeah, except I don't think, and I don't think it's as commonly used as it used to be. Anyway, most of them have created their own AIs. However, I know that on Chrome, if you do a Google search, which is you're using Google Chrome to do it, or DuckDuckGo, and you do a DuckDuckGo search, it's not using AI. I mean, there may be some AI component, but it really is just using I mean, obviously it is using AI. It's all artificial intelligence and how it finds things, but it's not using, for example, Chrome is not using Gemini. You would have to open up Gemini as an app, which I'm going to do here in a minute, um, and and use it specifically to do a search. When you and I don't know if Firefox has their own, Apple has its own, and there's a lot of discussion going on right now about who is winning sort of the AI wars or the AI corporate battles. And don't, I'm not, I'm going to say this number is not probably very accurate, but it's close. And I'm going to ask it again as a question. We'll see if anybody in the audience answers. But Mark, why don't you answer in your opinion of it? What percentage of AI use by consumers, and it could be businesses or individuals, does Chat GPT or OpenAI have today? And how much did they have 2 years ago when they were really just getting started?
Okay, so my opinion is today, at least 80% of the businesses use it, business or individuals, but 2 years ago, maybe zero, close to zero.
No, I asked it the wrong way. You're
Okay.
right. You're probably perfectly right. If you were using it 2 years ago, what of the market did OpenAI have versus anything else?
Oh,
Gemini, Claude, Grok,
okay.
DeepSeek, you name it.
Okay, so I think none of them were in business back then, two
Right.
years ago.
Well, they didn't even exist.
Exist,
So
yes.
it was 100%, right? And so,
Right,
or
yes.
close to it. I mean, there probably were some outliers. It was probably a little bit like the Chinese might have had DeepSeek or some version of it that people were using.
Hmm.
And your number is about right today, Mark.
Yeah.
It is still but it's dramatically reducing. Matter of fact, I think it's closer to 70% now,
Okay.
with with all the rest of them
Mhm.
getting the rest.
Right.
Um,
And I think Facebook used their version long before it was public. So they were using for face recognition. Um,
and theirs though is not getting the use, quite honestly.
yeah.
And it's one of the ones that is not doing nearly as well. What would you guess is the next biggest competitor to OpenAI?
GPT. I would say Grok. Grok is the second, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. That I don't have an answer for. So anybody in the
Okay.
audience, and I do see some of our audience members putting some numbers up for us that would be showing what kind of answers. Um, one of the chats that just came up was talking about the percentage of people in various different parts of the world that are using AI, and it's still a relatively small number, at least if that number was accurate. Matter of fact, I think it said 10 to 11%. I don't know that. My gut tells me it's a higher number than that. But remember, here in the US, it probably is. In Bangladesh, Mark, do you think very many people just are not using any kind of AI yet?
Yeah, I would think a lot of people people not aware of how to like the benefits. But people I know in my circle, most people use it. But
Yeah. How about your son?
yes, he does use it
No, he
for
does, but how about you think in his circle?
maybe not.
Okay, so maybe not.
Yes. Yeah, people who are computer literate or, associated with some kind of computer work,
How
they,
about
do-
your
they
wife's circle?
no, zero. She's a
Okay.
teacher, by the way, but she just does the old-fashioned way, studying, going through books. So that's all she does.
Um, anyway, the diversity of entities that are beginning to become more of a presence in the marketplace is increasing dramatically. And I think there's predictions that OpenAI will move from, that 60% just or 70 or 80, somewhere in that range, let's say 60 to 80, down to 30 within the next year, or at least by 2030. So that's 5 years. So, so that they're, so Paresh in India is saying that his 6-year-old and 10-year-olds use it. So that it's something that young people use pretty extensively. I have grandchildren that range from 3 months to 18, and let's say the two oldest, who are 18 and 16, both use it extensively. My granddaughter, who's the next oldest, is 15. She uses it extensively. The next oldest would be 13, and she uses it extensively. And then the next oldest, that is 12, uses it. But then I go down to 8 to the next one, and the 8-year-old doesn't use it at all. And her sister's 6, she doesn't use it at all. Then my last two, did I come up with 9 there? That was what the number was supposed to end up being. That obviously they're very young, 2 and 3 months, so they're not using anything. But those youngsters, the really young ones, the 6-year-old and the 8-year-old, are not using it at all. And not because they're not allowed to. I just don't think they are. So, by the way, huge thing that occurred in the world related to online types of things. And I'm curious if, again, people that are online here today with us from different places than the US know what it is. And it's not something in the US, by the way. And it's countrywide somewhere. Do you know, Mark?
Um, no, what is it?
Australia has banned the use of social media by anyone under 16.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
One of our audience just put up something that we should quickly talk about because it's pretty significant. And that's the comet 3I, which there are some scientists worry about that it could hit, that it could have some impact, or even if it went into our atmosphere at all, it could have some huge impact. So, and since we're on the AI topic, two big pieces of news that I think are both AI at the very least AI enhanced, and at the very worst totally false, just bogus, related to environmental, are out there right now. One of them, and both of them, my reason that I know about them, it's not like I'm on Facebook that much. I probably spend 10 minutes a day on Facebook, but Facebook reported 2 days ago that a mountain near Casper, Wyoming collapsed, just fell in on itself. And there's photos of it even, so they can easily be faked. I mean, AI could generate phony pictures. And I think it's phony because I've not seen evidence of it on any news. Mark, quickly do a search about
Mhm.
a mountain collapsing in near Casper, Casper, Wyoming. The second one, which does have some truth to it, but it is way exaggerated, is that there's massive flooding occurring right now someplace in the world. Does anybody know where that is?
No.
Dangerous levels causing, property damage for sure, and maybe could threaten lives if people weren't paying attention to it.
Okay, so I just did a Google search on mountain collapsing, and it says it's fake.
Yeah.
So I'll show you the image. Here it
So
says,
yeah, that's it. That's the one. That's exactly the one that and it looks like it's being taken out of a plane, right? Look at that. They've
yeah,
even got like some things from what it would look like in a cockpit.
right.
That is the
So
image.
mhm, it's fake.
Yep.
Yep, you'll find a lot of false news.
All right.
Fake.
Here's the other one that I do think there's some reality to. Again, do you know where because it's in the United States. There's an area in the United States that yesterday through the evening and today is going through some very heavy rainfall, enough so that it's causing extensive flooding.
In California?
No,
Maybe. No,
you're
okay.
close. You're on the right side
Okay.
of the country. It's in Pacific Northwest and it's pretty localized
Mm,
south of Seattle, but north of
okay.
Portland, Oregon. Is that the link? Somebody just put up a Facebook link, and that might be where that picture came from. That's
Yeah.
where I saw it, that fake picture. Um, do a search about that, Mark, about flooding in Pacific Northwest now. Right. Just if you just put flooding in Pacific Northwest, it'll come up. I mean, it is raining over there. You look at weather maps, you look at satellite imagery. And by the way, over there is not very far from me. I mean, that's 300 miles away from where I'm at. So, but it won't reach us. We have mountains here and other things that when there's lots of rainfall in that part of the world, we don't get it. It doesn't necessarily come here at all.
Okay,
Um,
so it's I got one that says in Montana.
and
Mm,
yeah, it went up that far. I mean, and that's in that northern range. But no, look, it would be. I don't
can
think it
you
would be Seattle, but Portland, Oregon, Vancouver, Washington.
yes, it says Washington and British Columbia. No,
Yeah,
that's okay. So
well,
thousands
British
of
Columbia is farther north, but
yeah.
the rainfall in that area is very locational. There could be no rain and 5 miles away because of the size of the mountains and canyons and valleys and water that are because it's right on the coast that would affect to where you may not have any rain and then very close to it you'd have. Yeah, if you've got something to show, Mark, because those are images that I saw, the one with that guy standing and and that I didn't see the one of those farms, but obviously that's some flooding.
Yeah.
Um,
This is from USA Today, so
yeah,
should be
that's probably
authentic.
pretty accurate.
Yes. Okay, so here's a car
Yeah,
flooded. So this
yeah,
houses.
yeah. I
Uh,
mean, they've gotten like here, it'll probably say in that article, like 20 inches of rainfall in 24 hours. we don't get 15 inches in an entire year where I'm at. And see, it says there it's been, and see where it says southeast of Mount Rainier, what, and that's Seattle. So it says Seattle, I think right below there, it says Seattle's gotten 3.5 inches in the last 24 hours. But I read where there were some places that it was 20 inches. That's a
Wow.
lot of rain. I mean, you get a lot of rain where you're at, Mark, but still, and
Yep.
you had some flooding that we showed some images of actually.
Yeah, but it's only seasonal, so it lasts maybe 3 months. After
Yeah,
that,
well, this is the season. I mean, this is the
yeah,
time they'd be getting their weather there. Or it's a tiny bit early, but not really. I mean, their rainfall starts about the 1st of October and or
okay,
mid-October, November, and then is pretty, pretty can be intense following that.
yeah. But over
Let's
here, yeah,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, over here, most of the time it's dry, except for those 3 or 4 months. Excuse me, when it's the monsoon season, so we get a lot of rain in monsoon. That's it.
So, is there much news yet? We're going to go to sports real quick about the
Okay,
World Cup in your part of the world that's going to be occurring next year here in the US. And I'm sure Bangladesh probably doesn't
yeah.
have a team in it, but I would think India might. And I would think maybe, no, I don't think Pakistan has a world-class soccer team. Um, but do you
Yeah, I
hear
think
much about it?
only 3 or 4 teams from Asia will qualify.
Uh,
So couple of teams from Middle East and Japan maybe. Or yeah.
Now, I know Japan's in. I did see that. I know they've
Mhm.
got a team. And I'm sure China might. I don't know
China,
that
yeah.
for
Yeah, they
sure.
might have a chance. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's here
Yeah.
in the US and it's all over the country. There,
Mhm.
there are different venues in
Okay.
cities all over the country.
Right. So
Um,
you had once before, right, in the US. I
yeah, but
remember.
I actually thought it wasn't that long ago. So it was a little
Yes.
surprising to me that we got another one so recent that, that
Yes.
it, it wasn't that long ago that we had one previously. You know where the last one was, right?
Yeah.
Where?
Mhm. It was, I think, South Africa. Brazil. No, I don't remember.
Well, and we even talked about it, not
Oh,
in,
Saudi.
no, you're
Saudi.
close, though. You're close, really
Qatar.
close. Yep, Qatar,
Qatar. Yes.
in Qatar, which is, by the way, everybody, a tiny country in terms of numbers of people and just
Yes.
physical size.
Yeah.
But I, and we were doing, so how many of you know what we called this activity doing webinars through the Institute of Economics prior to the EAT community?
I know.
Well, I hope you would, yeah. We called it the bi-weekly huddle
Yes,
because we would
huddles.
do it every other week, usually. Pretty good schedule that way. And we called it the bi-weekly huddle. And did we have any other names for it? And it wasn't EAT. We didn't call
No.
anything Economic Action Team. And it could have been the bi-weekly IOE
Yes.
huddle.
Yes. And we always had a guest on our webinar. Every episode there would be a new guest.
Yeah. Again, one of our audience put in Qatar. That's what we just said. Anyway, in 10 years before that, in 2012, when it was announced that Qatar was going to be the host 10 years later in 2022, we were doing these huddles. And I think I did one from Qatar. I was going to Qatar somewhat regularly then because we were going to have what there, Mark? What were we going to build there? We got really close to doing it.
Oh. I don't remember, but was it before I joined or?
No, I think you
Uh,
would have been there
okay,
because we figured that out the other day. When did you start again?
I
Oh,
think
nine.
2009 or 10. Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
some.
nine. No, this would have been 2012. I was
Okay.
in Qatar. It was a big deal when they announced
Hmm.
it in Qatar that the Qatar was doing it 10 years later. And one of the reasons it was a big deal, there wasn't a single stadium in the country.
Yes.
They had to build all the infrastructure that they had for the 2022 World
Yes.
Cup between
Right.
2012 and 2022.
Right.
And you can't work outdoors there in the summer, everybody.
Mhm.
I mean, it's just awesomely hot. I mean, 120, 125 degrees. You just don't work outside. So whatever building you got to be doing, you can't be doing it in July, August, and September, probably. Um,
Yeah, most of the construction is done at night. I think they do most
they
of
do
it.
that. But it's
Yeah.
still in Qatar, at least in the middle of July or August, it doesn't get under 100 degrees, even at ever. So it's always hot, but not 120 or 125. All right. Comet. Let's talk about that a little bit because somebody put something up. If if Felicia put a link in there, Mark, why don't you maybe click on it and put
Yeah,
it up
she
on
has a link here. I'll I'll pull it up. Okay. I think I've got this. Okay. So Comet 3i Atlas.
Yep.
And I gotta move this away.
Yeah. And you know now when it's there because it is there. And now there's still one down in the right hand corner, Mark. I don't know what that one is.
Right
It's
here.
long and narrow. Yep, right there.
Oh, that shouldn't be there. Um, but anyway, that's a malfunction. Is it like covering a lot of the screen?
No, not that much space.
Okay.
It'll be a little weird, but
Okay.
everybody, we do edit these some, and we obviously we do, like I said, way more people watch this as a replay. Anyway, there's some images from this summer of what that comet looks like.
Yeah, here's some pictures.
Yeah, I don't know why that one is red. It might just be something that they able to add color to. And it looks like some of these are from spacecraft, so satellites probably, and others are, like one of them said, from the Hubble telescope, which is on the Earth. That looks like it's a different one. No, I guess it's the same one. They just call it's from the Lucy mission spacecraft shows the comet. And yeah, you can see how there's a there's the tail behind it there.
In this picture, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
this
it's
one
really
too.
obvious there. That one has it too.
Yes. Okay. Oh, this is like a
So are
moving.
there still some fears that it will get close enough to us that it'll cause some issues? Resh is saying that it'll get to be 43, which is in that 120 range, everybody, 120 Fahrenheit. I'm sorry, I I can pretty quickly convert temperatures from Fahrenheit to Celsius, but us Americans, we have this curse of using the imperial system as well as a metric system. British do the same thing. So
Yeah, and
see,
in Canada,
I don't think the British have even gotten as much of their measurements to metric as we have in the US. But still, most Americans pretty much talk about distances, areas, volumes in imperial math. And then why we use Fahrenheit rather than centigrade. I guess that's imperial too.
Yeah, you still use miles instead of kilometers.
You know what? Do a search, Mark. I don't remember. Fahrenheit's got to be somebody's name. And don't
Fahrenheit.
worry if you
Okay.
spell it right or not. Where does the name Fahrenheit come from? And it's F-A-H-R, I think. F-A-H-R,
think that's right.
F-A-H-R. There we go. You got it.
Mhm.
German
Yeah,
Dutch
Jim.
physicist Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit, who created the temperature scale.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that. I read it in my fifth grade probably and forgotten.
And then just as Celsius is named after
Celsius,
Anders
yeah.
Celsius, which Celsius makes so much more sense because it sets freezing at
Zero.
zero,
Yes.
right? And that's an important temperature for people on the earth,
0 to 100 for water, right?
right? And so 100 is boiling, so 0 to 100. So water at sea level boils at 100 degrees Celsius and freezes at zero. That makes sense. And then why did centigrade? I wonder. I guess it's just because, you know what? I guess they named it. They used centigrade, and then they honored this fellow Celsius
Hmm.
after. So people were calling it
Celsius later. Yeah, it
later.
used to be called, yeah, it used to be called centigrades before, and then
Yeah.
changed to Celsius.
Makes a lot more sense. Yep. That's what Alicia just put up. I love it when when everybody puts stuff in. We love it. Paresh, we need to get together. Go on to my talk with Wayne and schedule something for us when it makes sense for you. Um, all right. What other world affairs topics can we talk about? If people don't have any, I'm gonna, like I said, talk a little bit about a business initiative that I'm doing, but it's not so much the initiative that I want you to hear about. It's more the tools that I'm using to do it, which are all pretty heavily AI related. And, you know, AI is a new term, artificial intelligence, or newer, we use it more recently, but we've used AI, artificial intelligence, for a long, long, long time. Any real mechanical operation that is governed by a computer chip, vehicles, cars, you name it, that's AI. Artificial intelligence is, we don't have to think about it. It is a, a set of algorithms of formulas, formulaically, that are managing the process. And I think you could go back further if you're going back to um, anything that was in the Industrial Revolution. I was trying to think of more specific. Well, light switches. Okay, if when we turn lights on and off by flipping a switch rather than just putting two pieces of wire together by our hands, then I think you could call that artificial intelligence because that switch had to be designed and used. And we some again, somebody in our audience just said the field of artificial intelligence came up as somebody formed the use of the word in 1956. But I think it could have been used way earlier than that. And like I said, turning an electrical switch on and off. And those of you that haven't studied Nikola Tesla, you really should. And we should probably just even do a whole webinar on him someday. And I probably have this somewhere. I know I do. I just have to, it may be archived in emails that precede when I started using the Gmail, which was in 2009. And I got a movie script and was asked to review it at the Institute of Economics for a writer who was hoping to make a biographical, factual as much as possible movie about Nikola Tesla. What amazing artificial intelligence activity did he complete that it's amazing to me that it didn't get way more press than it got. It is validated by all kinds of sources, so it's not phony what he did. He is given credit for a lot of things, but people rarely talk about this one thing he did, which was really, an AC current is one that he is given credit for. But this is even more amazing. Mark, do you know? It has to do with electricity, obviously.
Wireless.
Yes, wireless. And what did and there was a very specific thing he did here in the United States, because that's where he lived.
I think remote controls, right? Something like
No, well, yes, it was absolutely remote control what he did.
probably
He
power
lit up
supplies.
an entire
City, right?
city
Yes.
with no wires,
Yes.
light bulbs just coming on
Yep.
by putting electrical energy through the air.
Right. But I think back then he was working for Edison or something like that. So there was a clash.
No, he was. I think do a Google search on that. And I'm pretty sure the town city was in Connecticut or Massachusetts, one of those two states. But I bet if you search that, Mark, World Wireless System, he didn't just envision it, he did it. I mean, he did it over a large enough geography that he proved that it could happen. And why didn't it happen? Because then guess what? People like Edison, companies weren't going to be able to do what? What were they ultimately able to do? And what do almost all of us do with
electric bill?
We pay for it.
Pay for it. So they were not able to charge people or make money.
Could. If you produced your own, Mark, you could sell it. And with solar panels now and other ways to produce electricity, certainly you could make a hydroelectric dam somewhere if you had enough money to do it, and you could sell it. Now, in some places in the US, at least, the utilities are monopolies, and you probably would be sued, or somebody might try to kill you or something for doing that. But that wasn't the case, I don't think, with Tesla. I think you are right. I think he was threatened by Edison or someone else, which is why it didn't go further than it did. Either somebody in the audience or you, Mark, do a search on it. It's so much easier when I don't do it because I don't have to be sitting and concentrating on it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do the search.
Tesla lighting up a city in the air by airborne electrical energy. Now, I'm sure there was some fears, and maybe rightfully so, about the negatives of doing that and how that electrical energy in the air could cause health issues or any number of things, but I don't think that's why it didn't go from what he did to much more of a reality.
I guess I got, I'll show you what I've got here.
And again, there it is. So it was in New York. And now I'm remembering Shoreham. Yeah. And he called it the Wardenclyffe Tower. And I'm not sure whether that was somebody's name or. I thought he did something in Connecticut also.
So he had a large
Abandoned due to a lot of lack of funding.
Mhm. So it wasn't for safety reasons, but which also happened. I think he burned some of the houses also. But main issue was the funding. Didn't get funded.
Well, I think I heard he got threatened.
Mhm.
That it wasn't
By big
just that
companies.
he didn't get funding. It was more like you tried doing it, and we're going to do something bad to you.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, we do over the air. I mean, that's what this right at the bottom wireless charging today. Right. Do you do you know of any wireless lights?
I don't know yet.
I don't. To where you just literally hold something in your hand and electricity's coming to it from the air and it lights up. I
No,
don't think
haven't.
so.
No.
I think any lighting we have has got some kind of electrical conductivity to it that's by wires or by some physical connectivity,
Batteries maybe.
which is
Yeah.
if you think about it, it's kind of weird. Why do we still have to have that? As we make little clips of this, everybody, that's one that what I just said should go viral. Using this cool software. That, by the way, is one of the coolest things we've found because we are getting some viralness on YouTube by these little shorts that we do. So every minute of these Talk with Wayne sessions gets put through this program called Opus. Mark, go to one of the Opus pages and show everybody what it does, and it'll show the ranking that it gives these clips, and then it actually automatically publishes them. Mark gives it instructions to put these clips in different places. I get notified of it. That's really the only reason that I know, other than I go and look at a lot of them. Wow, we're 44 minutes into this and we're having fun, and I haven't even gotten to some of the other things that I wanted to.
Yeah, I'll open up Opus.
By the way, I don't like doing the fake thing behind me, and you notice I never use it. I don't, use the background that you can do on Zoom. Um, and I think some of them look really cool. A lot of them don't look very good at all. But no, do want, yeah, pick the most recent one, that one from last week. Did you do them, Mark, with the
Oh no, this is not the
with Matt
one.
Powers?
Yeah, that one I did. Let me see. That should be it. Matt Powers. Yes.
There, yeah, there it is. And by the way, we should not publish those, Mark. We don't have those rights.
Oh, even for shorts? I
I
think
don't know. I mean, we should
okay.
check on that.
Okay. Yeah, these are like 10 seconds or 15 seconds each.
I understand, but it's still because we were again pirating that really.
Okay. All right.
I mean, and so anyway, here's what it does. It doesn't just make them, it ranks them. So it believes that that first one there is going to have the highest amount of interest from the watching public. And then keep going down the page, Mark, to see, and we'll play that one in a second here. And the numbers keep going down and they'll get down into the 60s. And since you're going to be down at the bottom, let's start with one of the ones in the 60s.
Okay. Down to 70, 67.
Yeah, it usually doesn't go much below. So there we go.
Yeah.
Do that last one. It's going to be it's going to be terrible.
Okay. I think it's already over. So maybe
If
the
it's over,
recording.
if it's over, it's over. No, you won't get a. I mean, click on her link. It'll take you somewhere.
Yeah.
See, that's terrible, everybody. There's no reason, and it isn't just because I'm wearing weird sunglasses and have in the car, but it's more. It just doesn't say anything. How about that one that's 63? Let's see how the next one there.
I really appreciate it. It's exciting to be with you here and to be part of the community. Acres is something that I read and I read it aspirationally. You know, I could apply certain things as a gardener, certain things as a homesteader, but in permaculture when I was teaching, I would use Acres articles all the time. But the larger scale things, you know, I wanted to serve at that space and at that level. And it was, you know, doing the regenerative soil, doing regenerative soil microscopy that really put me in a position to serve those folks and help those people. And it all kind of just was wild because now I get to teach so many farmers all over the world. I get to join you guys at Eco Ag, and it's a total honor.
Really good, and yet again, it ranked 33. It ranked that really
63.
low.
Yes.
And by the way, that little circle with the marks wouldn't be on there if you were watching that on YouTube or wherever we post it. Because are we posting any of these yet on Facebook? Because we should be, Mark. We should be talking about that. So
Yeah, on Facebook it is on. These are
so
on
now go up to the 99. Let's do the very top one.
Yeah. Oops, what happened? Let me go back. Let's see. I just clicked something and went out. Let's see. It might come back in a second. Let's see. If not, I'll have to refresh it. Okay, it's coming back.
What happened was my wife got cancer and our whole lives turned around and focused on health. So I didn't intend to be a teacher, didn't intend to be a citizen scientist or any of these things. I grew up wanting to be a ski racer and a musician. And when I couldn't be a ski racer any longer, all I wanted to do was music. And I did it. I got to do it. I was on stage. And what happened was my wife got cancer and our whole lives turned around and focused on health. I left the music industry. I became a teacher for healthcare. Became really focused on family. We lived with 4 generations. We raised our boys with 4 generations on the same property. What happened was my wife got cancer.
That's the start of it.
Yeah.
That's really good. I mean, and remember, we've interviewed Matt, so there are Matt sessions in the Eat community area that you can go to.
Yeah, and I didn't know he was a musician. Just
I didn't either.
This-
I mean, I think I did know it when he said it there. I think I
Yeah.
remember him saying it, and
Yep.
it must have been pretty good. He was not just playing, in his garage. He was doing
Right.
gigs.
Yeah, he was on stage, so pretty good.
Yeah. All right. What else from the audience before we have just 10 minutes left? And I'm going to quickly talk about a couple of things. By the way, here's one that's, you should be thinking about. Oh, I started to say earlier, I didn't finish my thought. All that stuff on the behind me actually brings up memories when I see it. I don't turn around and look at it very often. I really see it when it's here in the webinar. That photo that's right by my cheek right now is so weird because it looks to me like it's some kind of a varmint that is being carried by the dog, and that's what it. But it's not. It's a bird, and it looks like it's something like a, a rabbit or something. I don't know why it looks just different, but when you turn around, when it gets focused on it, you'll see it a little bit better. And I haven't told you what some of the other stuff in this photo behind us is, and I'll move a little bit. You'll see some other parts of it, but let's see. I'm gonna move the camera a little. Those are ribbons for my dogs. I'm kind of proud of those, all of the top, and they're all over the last year. So that's not over a long period of time. And that's a trophy that's the very top of that. What do you think that item is? When I move my cursor, you won't see it. Are you? You seeing my? You're not seeing my cursor.
No.
What is? I'll turn it to where no, I can't. It's a little wooden box with a plaque on the front of it. What is that, do you think? Anybody, throw it in the chat, or Mark, what do you think it is? It's a trophy on top of it, by the way, for tennis or something. I don't remember what, long time ago. Mark, are you still there? We lose you?
Yeah. No, I'm trying to figure out what it is. Is it a radio? Or something like
I'm pointing at it there.
okay.
No, and it could. It kind of looks like in front of it, the dark brown. That's actually a really cool little a holder for business cards, and there's
Okay.
none in it. It's empty right now.
Uh,
And then right over here is a little holder container with a picture of a golfer, and that's a golf club up on the end of it. And like I said, that is a trophy up on top, but that is an urn. That's my mother's ashes. Not all of
okay.
them, but that
Okay.
that's something that when
Ah,
she died, I was able to get that. And so that's kind of got cool memories. Those are my
right.
passports, by the way, right there in that container. And that's another photo of a dog out in a field carrying something. Let's see what other things we can see behind me if I move the chair. There.
So you keep your passport right there, so in case you have to fly.
Yeah, it's something close to me that I can get to. This is a grandson. I think that's Kyle, who's my oldest, who's 18 now. That picture right down at the bottom. What are some
And
of those? That's
picture of
actually a
your dog.
box. That's a box that this watch came in, my Garmin watch. And I don't know why I'm saving the box, but it's still there. That next to the picture of the bird and the dog is another trophy that I won. I think it's a tennis related thing. I was a big time user. I'm going to sit up here and go grab something to show you of Franklin planners back in the 80s and into the early 90s. when we went to the internet, and this is a Franklin planner. And that made that you put your scheduling and such into.
Oh, okay.
So that is April 2nd, Tuesday, April 2nd. And it shows my broadly schedule there. And I must have gone traveling somewhere. That's usually when I'd put big old long arrows. And then a task list over here and notes from things that went on during the day. Let's see where it was then. I was moving. Whoa, what were we moving the office for? Huh. At the bottom of it says unpack. We were moving from one house to another in the Denver area.
Okay. So that was like 10 years ago, maybe?
No, that was 1991, Mark. So
Oh,
a
no.
lot more than 10 years ago.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, the calendar that I have for the whole month didn't show that specific date, what we were doing. I was actually at a conference the following day on the 3rd called Hazmat in Chicago. And the first, I put a lot of notes, but I didn't put anything in for that I was moving. Met with Russ Maagni on the 2nd and the 3rd. Here we go. I'm going to read some notes that I took on the 5th, Friday. Beautiful sunny day in the Colorado Rockies. I am in Denver. 60s in the mountains. Oh no, 72, excuse me. 72 in Denver. That's the temperature. 60s in the mountains. People skiing in t-shirts and swimsuits. We had a great time. So I must have gone skiing. I was skiing that day. Skied the bumps pretty well. I had 2 falls where I could have hurt either leg pretty badly, but did not. I was pleased with my effort because I would have been in 91, 49. Thinking, let's see, the kids were great, a good group. So I must have taken a group of kids skiing. Dustin did some insane jumping. That's my son. The house deal is still frustrating. So we were hopefully buying this house then. We did get a full price offer on Arabian Way, though. Oh, wow. I don't even remember that property. Anyway, it was stuff that I wrote. I'm not going to talk about it so much today, but I'm going to show you this. Let me share my screen real quick and we'll do that to finish.
Well, that was 30 years ago, right? Almost.
No, more than 30, Mike.
More
Do
than
your
30,
math.
yeah. Okay.
34 years ago. So
All right.
this is a tool that we use called Designer, which Mark's done a bunch of work on. These are books that are either finished with and just have not published yet or are very close to being done with. This one is about that we're going to use with our new website where we're working with marketing dogs, and it's called Paws and Promises, The Art of Loving Your Dog. This is one called Breeding Excellence, Legal and Ethical Aspects of Competitive Dog Sales, which is very significant compared to what we're doing. This is one about duckweed, a sustainable solution for livestock and aquaculture feed. Here's one called Healing Waters, a guide to holistic retreats and hot springs. This one we give away, and we've given away tens of thousands of this book, right, Mark? Lots of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Called-
This is the one people get for opting in into
Yep.
any of our, yeah.
Yeah. And it's released the inner entrepreneur in you. This is just an earlier version of the Healing Waters one. And there's a lot more. Let me just see. I think it just shows those are just the recent ones. Let's go. Let's go and show a bunch of them. Here we go. Living pain-free with PEMF, which is electronic massage, essentially. This is one that we also have given away a number of versions of, Profitable Backyard Aquaculture. This is not yet, this is a different cover. The book is actually about rainwater and ways to collect it, but we haven't changed the cover yet. Here's another version of the duckweed book. And this is a really cool one. We did a lot of work on this one on getting juiced. So it's using juicing and putting it in your diet. This is one that is really relevant to ponds and managing blue-green algae. And then here's another version of our aquaculture, Profitable Backyard Aquaculture. So those are projects, but we then also have a number of just folders, and there's a lot. Well, actually, we aren't storing them in there. It's in the docs. Look at all these docs that we have. There's a bunch more. Do you pull much media off of this one, Mark? Because this has got, I don't, but there's some nice little office pictures and other things from it.
Yeah, I use sometimes.
All right. Well, it is top of the hour. You guys have been awesome as always. Sure appreciate you. Anybody have any
Happy
last
Friday.
thing before we jump off? By the way, we go from, like I said, in the summer, staying light until 11 o'clock at night, and it's getting dark now at 5, and it's 4. So so it's sort of sunset even now a little bit. Do you have Christmas lights in your country, Mark, at all?
No, maybe few. I mean, less than 5% of the population.
But there are enough to where if you kind of went out and looked, you'd find some somewhere. And
Yeah, you gotta go to certain areas
yeah,
to find. Yeah.
for whatever reason, everything here is office related. I don't know why. I didn't do a search here or anything, and they're and these are all what are called public label. Everybody, where anybody can use them without having to get additional permission. Somebody's ring sitting next to their taxes. I don't know that I want to do that. Might get mad and kick the ring somewhere and not lose it. All right, these are all from us. These are uploads. some of these are AI. I'm just quickly finishing this up and wow, pretty pixelated, some of these, Mark. And the dog book is the most recent of all these.
Yeah.
And then the Hot Springs one before that.
Hmm.
Oh, there's me.
Yeah, we uploaded some of the
This
images
is Riggins.
here. Yes.
Oh, I think we uploaded most of them. This is in Colorado.
Mhm.
These
Juicy
are from a pond that we have.
backyard. And duckweed.
Yeah, and this is from the juicing book.
Mhm.
Remember, these are all here, Mark, so that when we go and start marketing these books, we
Yeah.
can pull images from here.
Right.
So, Colonomic Action. This was somewhere I went. And I don't know why it's blurry like this. It's just
Mm.
all these are kind of blurry. These bigger images.
Yeah. But we could enhance with AI and then it'll be
These are
clear.
duckweed, everybody. All this is duckweed. Duckweed. Chickens. We have one book about chickens I know in here. So this is this is actually an enhanced. So duckweed is the smallest flowering plant in the world. So the flowers are usually microscopic almost, but here they've really blown it up. So these are less than a quarter inch. So this is really blown up well. This is obviously taken with a really high grade camera. That's the last of them. That's AI, I think. I don't think that's real. Maybe it's real. Very cool picture. All right. Everybody, love you. Talk to you next week.